Pranav has already just introduced you with your basic, designations and all, but I'll definitely like to bring to light to our audience about some of the achievement of the panelists today. Dr. Sharda is 42 years into this service of education, which is just so amazing. Right from a stint with DPS Vizag, principal of Air Force School, Coimbatore, principal of St. Anne's, and the list is very long. And right now, she's the academic director at Whitefield Global School Bengaluru for the last 15 years. She's been, the program lead to conduct Cambridge International PDQ programs, and there's a long list. So ma'am, today I think it's really important for us that we get your expertise on, this such a amazing topic. And when Pranav sent me this topic, I was just really wondering that really it's so important and people don't talk about it. It's a big dilemma question for people when they talk about the university admissions and everything. So I'll just introduce Mr. Rajesh Rathore. He's the principal of JK Public School in Kunjanwani. He's a creative person, very dynamic and inspiring team leader. He has a master's degree in English literature as well as degree in education from Lucknow University. And he's again been, very well-trained professional. He's earned substantial certificate courses from institutes of global repute, from IIM Ahmedabad, from University of California, Los Angeles, and the list is long. We have Dr. Dheeraj here. He's a white and a yellow belt in Six Sigma. Wow, sir. Certified in NLP business diploma holder, and is an educational innovator, author, and the list is so big, sir. And the best part I read about here is he has published over 100 books and developed over 150 free educational mobile apps and for the Google Play and so many things. I think your Limca Book of Records and India Book of Records. I hope, sir, we get a lot of insight from your lovely experience. And lastly, my dear friend, Miss Farida, and since we're in the same city, I think we've met a couple of times, and I'm really in awe of her very sophisticated personality wherever she moves around in the circle. She's been a teacher of IB, Cambridge, CBSE board, and has paved her way through leading a school now, and I'm sure under her guidance the school must be doing really brilliant. So this is a little introduction about everyone. Just to introduce myself, I've spent more number of years on the other side of the court, ma'am. I've been in schools for almost 15 years before I joined the university. So I have a very soft spot for, school. Whenever I visit the schools now as a university representative, it just makes me feel very, very nostalgic. So when we were doing this, discussion internally, I was just figuring it out. What are we going to talk about it? I think the first thing I want to know you people, because we did not interact much before, and I'm going to throw some really rapid fire kind of questions just to understand your mindset and what your views are about the topic of discussion, which is courses versus college, right? And it's a very, very major decision for students because, when the students they go through so many anxieties, their board exams, their performance, their peer pressure, parent pressure, school pressure, so much of pressure. And in all of these pressure, I think the most important thing gets lost about the student. Who am I? What am I going to do? What is my journey forward? And what's my role into it? And this is a very, very crucial question. So we're going to start with the first question, and we'll go in the order of, we'll have Dr. Dheeraj, then Ms. Farida, Mr. Rajesh, and then you, ma'am, right? In the same order, I'll just keep shooting one question, just a simple yes or a no, all right? So rapid fire, a yes or a no question for this panel, right? Number one. Should students prioritize the course over college?
Yes.
Next, do you think college brand name matters more than the course relevance in the job market?
Now this
This is for the next.
the first question.
The first,
First
you're done. The
question
next one.
reply, yeah. So does it relate to the second one?
No, 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 no. These are just
Okay,
standalone
these are
questions.
independent questions. Yes,
It's
at
not
times
like
the college also
no, no. The
matters.
question is to the next person now. Now we're going
Oh,
to
I'm
Ms.
sorry.
Farida, then Mr. Rajesh, and then to you, ma'am. Right? So, Ms. Farida, do you think this? Do you think college brand name still matters more than course relevant in the job market? Very important. People make
Uh,
decisions on
it,
this.
it does. The name of the institution and the weightage of the institution
It
as a
does. So,
brand
it's a
does
yes.
matter.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. So rapid fire, so just yes and a no. Is it okay for students to pick a college based on extracurricular activities over its academic reputation? Mr. Ram.
Yes,
Great. Ma'am, can students switch career paths even if they don't choose the perfect course from the start?
definitely. Why not? We are actually metamorphing into that stage. Gone are the days of my days, no? I'm
Yes,
quite
yes.
old. So those days there was a stringency, but not now.
We'll discuss all of this. This is just a teaser,
Yeah,
right? Okay.
definitely yes.
Yeah. Second question now to everyone, one by one. Do you believe emerging fields of study are more important than traditional disciplines today, Mr. Dr. Dheeraj?
Yes.
Yes. Ms. Farida, should parents be more involved in choosing a college or a course for their children?
Yes.
Okay. Next, do you think interdisciplinary courses offer more value than the specialized one?
Yes,
Is it more important for students to be happy with their course than their college?
200% yes, because
Yes. So these questions are quick yet very impactful and tricky because they do hold a very big stance in students when they decide on to what they want to do, right? And I know for the matter of fact that it's not an easy choice. Sometimes because there's so much of influence and knowledge and information outside that the student is exposed to. So I really want I'm going to start asking questions for the panelists, and I really want you to keep that thing as a very very sensitive point at the center. And there are always views, something that Anju as a person I like, and something which is normally good for the better impact. So me personal over more people involved should be the motive behind it. So Dr. Shada, I'll start from you. Your experience as a school leader, what do you see as a primary factor students and parents prioritize when choosing between a course and a college?
thank you very much. In fact, I would like to narrate one of the anecdote which I faced a few years ago. Two anecdotes, then I'll come to that. Very quickly, I'll do that. I'm talking about something which happened some 7, 8 years ago. There was a parent who walked into my cabin. The child wanted to do theater.
Okay.
As I mean, the child wanted to get into films, actually. It is more about films. The child wanted to get into Hollywood films. It's not anything related to India, also. And she wanted to take up the course at New York. Okay. Now, the parent was baffled because the child is a top ranker. Okay. Then the parent had a very specific requirement that my child should do in IIT in India, go to IIM. After that, let the child go anywhere. Then I asked this question to the parent that why this IIT IIM, sir? Then he said, ma'am, networking matters and the brand matters. And the older the college, the more the network. And that's what I'm looking for. This is the parents' concern. Now, whether it is right, wrong, whether that is nothing to do with the parent. The parent's concern is that. And I asked the child, why do you want to do it in New York? She said, closer to Hollywood. Very clear. Closer to Hollywood, I can do. Then, what I wanted to tell at this particular time is that From that time, if you look at today, the change is happening in the children, in the whole lot of world around. Recently, I had attended one world conference also. There, quite a lot of, light has been thrown on every school head and every school owner that the kind of job market is waiting, and it is no more related to which college or which this thing the child has done. It is that the child's more of what is the acceptance the child is getting into. So we are all very much awakened. But what about the children? What about the parents? This is my concern, because when you are asking a question that what matters to the child at this moment, my experience says that whatever the child wants, it is not mattering even today. What is mattering is what the parent wants. And why is the parent choosing what is that parent wants is very clearly ROI, return on investment. That when I invest so much money, when I send my child, and money, not only money, time, energies, everything together, put my child in so and so institution, by the end of that course, will my child be able to get a proper job? How much will be the salary the child will be earning? Whether the child will become self-sustainable. It is not that I will not be supporting the child anymore. And tomorrow, will the child be able to get a better job later? What will be the growth? This is what the parent is looking. It is no more connected to the child's interest, the child's way of learning. No, it is not that. So even today, the parent clientele are like that, 90%, 10% they have changed. So when we are looking at this particular question, that what matters more, who matters more is more the question. The schools are ready to change. The schools are accepting the change. The schools are adopting, changing. It is parent clientele who have to change. I'm not questioning why they don't change. They need to see the market. They need to see what is waiting for their child, whether the child will be able to earn a very decent livelihood. Now, the decent livelihood is a very debatable point.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is what I would like to say. All of us in this, when we are stakeholders, there are two stakeholders or three stakeholders ready. The main stakeholder, who is an influencer, has to change.
Absolutely, absolutely. Very well said, ma'am. I'm going to go to Dr. Dheeraj with the next question, sir. Do you think students, and this is a trend that we are reading now as a university. I mean, if this is about, I'm talking about gap year, right? If I were to talk about 5 years ago, and that's the only experience I have in the higher education space. 5 years ago, we had maybe, out of 10, maybe out of 100, maybe one student would, we would see that has taken a gap year. That too also forcefully, or had to do it, had no choice, or made a choice, whatever the reason. Now that trend is changing, where students are saying, some of them, that a gap year is a something that they need to just settle their own learning from the school, and now want to figure out what they want to do ahead in life, but not in a haste. So do you think students, is it okay for students who feel they're ready to take a gap year or spend more time exploring courses before committing to a college, if they're uncertain about their career path? What has been your experience with the students who have done so? So let's talk about, for example, students who do that. What has been the experience?
See, particularly the children who take gap are also not very clear that they will get the selection next year or not as per the desired outcome. So the expectations not come out as expected, and henceforth, I think the proper counseling has to be done by the parents, in particular, with what type of a preparedness they are looking for, right from class 11th or right from class 9th at times. If you decide your stream and you start working and committing at least a couple of hours a week, I think would be sufficing the need and the requirement, the requisite for that preparation. I will quote an example of my son here, who qualified NLU Delhi in the first go, but with preparation. He was very clear in class 10 that he has to go for National Law University, and go for CLAT either way, and law as a career. And he had no option but to go for commerce as a subject combination. And Saturdays, Sundays, right from class 10th, when the results came out, uh, the admission for class 11th was not done, but he got admitted in the preparatory classes for CLAT, for Saturdays and Sundays. And that was a huge investment from my end. But his commitment forced me to go for it. And I paid the fees for 2 years, and he was very happy going for it, committed. But for that reason, I would like to thank his teachers for motivating and making him believe that he could do it. So I think a lot happens with the periphery around, with the commitments and the people around. So I think the wiser the people are around and the good friends they have, the motivating parents, well-wishers, that matters a lot. The seriousness from the side of the teachers, the parents, the school, everybody, the 360-degree framework. So gap, I don't think is a good or a wise decision. He did have an option B, saying that had it not been this NLU, I would have taken a gap. But that was just a second thought. But in reality, it never happens because wasting 1 year in this VUCA world is too much of a time, man. And they look for instant overnight success. Even if, for example, they order a product on Amazon, they would reflect it for an overnight delivery. Check out how much is the delivery time. So there's no patience with anybody now. And I believe that once they are through with the career, they look for good career options, campus placements, and it is high time that we think that what best comes with you should be taken and executed rather than waiting for another year and making plans and you don't know.
Just a
So I
follow-up
believe,
question,
yeah.
why do you think the trend is increasing then? Like, since, I hear your thoughts, but what we see, students are considered. So what could be a possible reason for this, why students are doing it?
Well, students are doing it because the masses are going for it, and then the result is the suicides. You can see the suicide rate in Kota and other places. This is happening because of this over expectation by the parents and also by themselves. You believe of the fact that yes, the coaching and everything is so fertilized these days that they only accept people for a 1 year course or a 2 year course. They don't have an option for a part-time extra learning. Like the delivery should have been in that way, that we will prepare you with confidence that once you qualify class 12, you'll be through some competition or the other. So that is what, because these coaching institutes, sorry to say, are more emphasizing on full-time teaching, just like school, as if the child has to undergo 2 years or 1 year of rigorous extra 1 year course as a part of a preparatory course for some professional certification and entry into the college. So I think that should not be done, and it is just against the NEP. So I believe as heads of schools, we need to undertake that philosophy, that teaching the right way and making them prepared for that particular competition, which is very much possible by extra 2 hours or a 1 hour every day, particularly for that, or maybe thrice a week. It has to be streamlined in such a way. There is a rush, but yes, if I say that the standard of competition and the selection grade for first year of applicants probably is high than as compared to the gap people who have taken gap. So I think majorly everyone gets a good college and everyone gets through. There's hardly 1 or 2% you feel like he has taken a gap or he's taking one more year for
So here
preparation.
again, I think we maybe I did not convey properly in my question the gap years that we see around is not for preparation. It's to just see the world around. It's to do some industry internship. It's to know things around so that you choose your college or course in a more wiser manner. It wasn't, I didn't definitely mean for the quota factories of sorts. That doesn't start in a gap year. That's like almost a parallel schooling happening. It's not after school, it's parallel school. I know of schools who have the classes going on in the schools. I know people who do a dummy school, and they're actually into these coaching. That's a completely different. So I think all the school representations here are where I think your parents also believe in the mainstream education, and not, of course you'll have a
That's
handful of
very
them
true.
who go for coaching.
Very true.
But
True.
here
Very
I
true.
just sum this, the gap year thing, just to clarify my point here, was just to make sure that the students, if I'm wanting to do a particular course in a particular college because I feel I'm going to grow there, and if I feel I'm not going to crack it, I can take a year's gap to understand my other options, to know more about the course, to know more about everything, and then come back. And which is, I think the kudos and goes to all the schools like yours, where you are taking off that pressure from the parents who are not pressurizing their children to do it immediately, ASAP, whether it's of your choice or not, you have to join. So that's something really interesting which came out. Thank you so much, Dr. Dheeraj.
Thank you.
Ms. Farida, I have a question for you. In the world that values interdisciplinary learning and skills, how important is it for students to choose the right course over the college, or should they focus more on overall learning environment?
So hello again, Anju ma'am, and it is such a pleasure to be here again with the esteemed panelists. So the whole thing is, ma'am, the word dilemma, it sticks around for quite some time in the whole course of education. Like I was listening to Dheeraj sir speak, and his son had absolute clarity of what he wanted to do, which is not, and then they as parents were aligned with the child's dream, but that may not be the case with a lot of students. So a lot of them are in the process of trial and error when it comes to choosing what they want to. It is a fight between the head and the heart. My head wants something, my heart wants something, my parents want something. So it is an entire thing. But in this entire thing, when the child has to make up their mind, they look, and the parents should also be aligned with the child to look for an organization, an institution which allows the child to explore more courses and everything than the generic ones which are already stated. In the sciences, there are these streams, the tributaries and the bifurcations that are now there, available for them. So uh, you know it's about the research that you do. So
Yes.
in this whole thing, like you said, in the interdisciplinary, I would say that when a proper research is done, if a child knows what I want to do and what is available, and then they make these choices and all, and they explore things. So yes, it does help them. So research, parental support, collaboration with your educators, because like sir's son was helped by his teachers. So yes, it is an absolute necessity to collaborate with your students to understand what they want. So when your parents are coming for career guidance to you when they are in school, you can help the parents and the students to tell that these are the options available, these are the interdisciplinary courses, the skills which are available. You can choose from what is there in the market, now, because the field is too vast now, and it is a very, very difficult thing to make a choice of where to go, where exactly to go after your 10th, or maybe even after your 12th. So yes, interdisciplinary skills are important. to pursue your career, to enhance your skills, and to be employable after your education.
Great, thank you so much. I think it's really, if we put forward the right things to the parents and students when they come to that age of graduating their grade 10, and just telling them that the data shows that people who have studied the STEM subjects are working in the field of management. People who have done management subjects are working in the field of technology. People who've done humanities are doing so. Today the world is pretty much, it is appreciating of that interdisciplinarity of approach. So it shouldn't be a very hard pressing question,
Yes,
that this and like ma'am said, the ROI thing really
it does. It does.
messes the very fact that the schools and colleges were made to come and learn for the sake of learning. The whole ecosystem has been corrupted so much by different kind of marketing that has happened, that okay, if you go, I mean, the schools somehow glamorize their toppers, the universities glamorize their the high salary, this thing. And in this race somewhere, we've, I think, stressed out our children so much. So I think, as all the other stakeholders around us, we need to, people have started, like ma'am said, 10-15% people have moved out of it, but the major chunk still gets consumed in this race. And personally, the moment some parents come and ask me, because I'm in the university, they say, what's the ROI? So I give them the answer of the ROI, but I do let them go with a thought. Did you have the child in your life with some ROI? You did it for love, for your family. I said, please keep that out of this picture. You're sending your child for higher education. Let them come here for the sake of learning. If they've learned well and if they've done good, all of that, what they want is a collateral benefit. It's not going
Absolutely.
anywhere.
Yes,
But
and
it's a but it's a very difficult thing, because everybody thinks that, oh my God, 1 year will make such a big difference. Today, if I'm to tell you I graduated in 93 or 94, how does it matter? But what matters is what I did in my those years of college. What did I do there? So I think that major shift has to go there. And I thank Edu TV for hosting these kind of conversations where more people can benefit from this. So
absolutely. So, Anju ma'am, just to add a little more to the question that was put forth, interdisciplinary, I may be a child who is good in math, but my sciences are not good. And I still want to do maybe I want to include math with psychology and, some other subject which is not a part of sciences or not a part of accountancy if I have to choose it as a bracket. And I'm allowed
and
to
it's
do that.
available today. It's available,
Yes,
and these are
yes,
not random combinations. They are connected to very very high profile job industry today,
absolutely.
right? I mean,
And it gives
environment
a
is such
child
a huge
complete.
challenge today, and I know people studying psychology and environmental studies, and they're actually understanding the impact through the psychological lens. And there's such big multinationals putting the money in research for that, right? So yes, there's a whole room of discussion. It can be a separate webinar
Absolutely,
altogether
yes.
on interdisciplinary education. So I know it needs to be a lot patient if you're the last speaker in the row in the panel. So I'm coming to you, Mr. Rajesh. Yeah. So what do you think? What role do you think college brand, okay, and its reputation plays in shaping career opportunities compared to the impact of choosing a course? For example, I've done a course from XYZ college because that department of that college is very good versus the college itself, which is a big name. So this is a crossway where students stand before dilemma, like she said, like you have to choose one, right? So what, in your opinion, how would you guide a student standing at such a crossroad? So I think you have to unmute yourself.
So thank you very much, ma'am, for asking me this question. So here, I would also like to quote the example of my daughter. Actually, her score was not really good in JEE mains. And she was getting 3, 4 engineering colleges in Anand only. Okay, fine, she could have done it maybe with the mechanical or electrical or this IT. But
Paper
she
pencil.
wanted, better college. So for that one, she was getting 5-year integrated program MSc in chemistry at NIT Surat. So she preferred 5-year integrated. I said, you'll be losing one more year because the engineering college, the engineering course will be of 4 years. Well, I said, it's fine because I'm very much interested in chemistry. And she had done very well in chemistry also. I think out of 120, she scored 106.
Wow.
So she was very much interested in chemistry. So I said, okay, fine, go. And again, there was no looking back because she had taken part in 5 different clubs and societies. And I'm so happy sharing that she topped her batch also, got rank 1 in and the gold medal, this 5 integrated program MSc in chemistry. And now today again, I feel very happy when she completed her MBA from SP Jain Mumbai, and now she's working with ITC, where she has the other management trainees who had done engineering from again top institutes in mechanical or electrical or computers or any other that way. So I think college really matters a lot, unless in case someone is that focused and of I'll say great achievements that one can achieve both. So there are people, of course, achieve both. They achieve a good course as well as their uh, long cherished, course which they wanted to pursue, as well as the college. But I feel great colleges with great reputation, good faculty, the resources, reputation, networking, brand value, they evolve, like so many qualities in students. I think nothing is like that. Even when I attended program at IIM Ahmedabad, this 6 day residential program, strategic leadership for principals in a changing environment. So I was really feeling so great about the institution, the kind of training imparted to all the principals and all, coming from different parts of the country. So that really establishes the credentials of the institution very strongly. So it is always there. So if someone has the adaptability, this is like in my school also. I asked the children who couldn't do well in maybe class 10th exam. I said, okay, fine, you may go for humanities, you may go for commerce, but not science, because science is really difficult. So sometimes tell people, if you cannot really change even class 9th and 10th, when I address them, I said, you cannot change your mindset perception, then better you change your ambition of life. Why not? One can always change. So one has to look into one's own aptitude, one has to look into one's own skill set, and then one should make efforts. But I feel that it's better to prefer college over course,
But
because
do you
good
think, do
college
you,
can always, uh, what should I say, elicit, the kind of all the dormant, the kind of strengths of an individual. So that is very important.
just a follow-up thought, and I represent a university which is aspiring, and we know what goes through, at the back end, where students at any cost want to. I know students who've taken gap year to try the next year, but they want to come here only, right? ऐसा सबके personal dreams या personal motivation. But is it not putting the same kind of quota pressure on our children? So as educators, I mean, do you think, do you know, a study shows that your undergraduation education has very little impact on your career. You actually, this is just like you have a kindergarten as a foundation to your grade 1 to 10 education. Your this career education that we think and we put so much of bet on is very impacts very little. Now coming to your connection with a good name and the industry, how it represents, I think then again, if it's a conventional industry, is looking at conventional ways of going to those top 10, 20 campuses and recruiting. But if you talk of the unconventional one, they do not care. People are not going, you don't need to go to a university to be an engineer today. You don't need to
True.
go to a business school to actually do business. So now learning is so easily available should you want to learn the way you want to learn. And of course, Google hires 10% of people who've never gone to a university. They say you don't have to waste 4 years in a college to learn to code. We'll teach you in 6 months. Okay, so that is also the industry there. So there's so much of place. So I think as educators, what I feel, and I absolutely honor your comments here, but I think we should pay more emphasis on a student to value himself and herself, to understand what is my capability and what is the best for me, and not what is best for somebody else in my class room. And that, I think, if we can do like how in the primary years we say if somebody is not spelling having all the spellings correctly, doesn't mean, but see the same student on the track and field, he's taking all the golds and silvers over there. So you've got to be talented in some area. It not necessarily has to be one place. So it's again a huge topic, can absolutely call for another discussion webinar. But it's really nice to know, as the educators, stakeholders, what do we feel about these topics about students, and because that's what we also trickles down in your staff, in your parent community. So
So, ma'am,
yeah.
here just I would like to add one
Yes,
small
please,
thing.
sir. Yes.
Like here in my school, I discuss with children, I tell them, I quote the example of Dr. Varghese Kurian because I was vice principal at Anandale, a dream school of Dr. Varghese Kurian, milkman of India, father of white revolution, who had done his master's from Michigan State University in mechanical engineering.
See?
And he only visited his friend in Anand, right? And Dr. Tribhuvandas K. Patel. And that time, I think Polson, the company, they made one statement that even milk of India will be inferior in comparison to water in the gutters of, the London. He took it up very seriously and he decided to be there. And of course, rest is history,
We are
right? Rest is
exporting milk to
history.
those countries
Nothing to do
now.
with mechanical engineering, nothing to do with this Michigan. Amul is a brand
I know.
across the globe.
It's
So that's very
internationally, it's selling international, it has international presence now. Great. That's a very good
so we
example,
need to
sir.
give this confidence to children so they can do anything,
Yeah.
whichever. And but Dr. Kurian used to say one thing. And whenever we used to visit Anandale, used to tell children, whatever you choose for yourself, excel in that area.
Yeah.
So we wanted excellence, whatever we choose for ourselves. So I think that's very important.
So I know some case studies because we do a lot of them in in our own learning journeys. There's so many graduates and postgraduates from the US coming and farming in India, Indians, because only when you go out then you realize, oh my God, what have we left behind. But and that's where another topic of the brain drain
Yeah.
happening, and the revenue drain happening. So that's something completely different. So we've majorly covered. I know we have more questions. Pranav, how much time do we have?
Ma'am, we have time, ma'am.
We have time, right? So I'm just going to have, one more question, and I want to know your views maybe in a minute or something. So, how do you guide students who conflict between a prestigious college and following their passion in a particular course or field of study? I mean, they have to be guided well, right? So what are your views on that?
Is it for me, ma'am?
Yes, yes, it's for everybody. Just one line from everyone.
Yeah. See, first, what I would like to tell my students if they have this conflict, because 42 years I have seen this conflicts, and initial 20 years no conflict. Whatever is there, that went on. Okay. Later, another, if you see 10 years, that maybe, but the conflicts are more now for past 10, 12 years. The conflicts are between the parents who are aspiring for ultimately JEE and IIT. I mean, especially in South India, they're born to become engineers, otherwise doctors, otherwise chartered accountants. Other than that, no other profession. I'm sorry, I apologize to all the parents who are listening to it, but this is a factual information I'm giving. If you see the data, that's what happens. So when there is a conflict, there are children who want to get into RJE, okay? There are some children who want to take music, photography. Okay, the parallel ones which are not so ROIs. Okay, they are not so good into the what do you say, that public view. Okay, but they are very respectful by all means. I say that as long as you earn your money lawfully, legally, then it should be a very good one. And I told my son that if you want to be a cobbler, be the best cobbler in the world. The whole world should come to you to mend their shoes. So that's what is my policy throughout my career, even today. But the conflict, when it is coming, first of all, we need to listen to the parent, because whatever is said and done, the parents whom we are dealing with maximum comes up to higher middle class or lower rich class, if we can make them into that. So they are definitely investing anywhere between 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50 lakhs into the, or it runs in crores for the child's education. They are not investing it just for the sake of anything, but the remaining part of the child's life, the child should not turn back and feel bad about it, that I did not do it. Number one, this belongs to 10 years ago. There was no gap those days, no question of going back to the school, going back to the college. So that fear was there with the parent, number one. Number two, whenever I'm a grandmother, whenever my son has a problem or a daughter-in-law has a problem with their child, they will call me, Amma, they are having stomachache. What will I do? As a grandparent, and by default, I should know everything. Okay, especially all the home remedies. So what do? I recall what my mother did. And I tell them, even in education, that is what is happening. What did I do when I'm 30 years, 40 years ago? Which is completely redundant.
Yes.
Which is doesn't connect it to the present world. Recently, I heard that when a child is telling that they are using a word called rust, okay, I'm just doing rust. Many people got actually flabbergasted. Later on, only I understood that they are learning a new language in computer called rust. So it is, I mean, I 5 years ago, I thought that there is this discord. Discord is completely something which is devastating, should not be used. But recently I learned that I can use it as an educational tool, learning tool for the child. So it is my learning which matters more than my child's, my students' learning. Same thing applies to the parent. The parent must be catching up with the latest trends and must be able to understand the child, give the child that kind of a comfort that it's okay, do it, I'm there with you. I am not going to spend crores, but I'm giving you 1 or 2 years, explore it. If that is your field, I'm standing with you. That kind of a support, if the parent gives, then I want the child to choose what the child wants to do, because if my passion and my profession are coming together, I will excel anyway.
Absolutely.
I will excel. I'll be the star in my field. And
100.
that we need to understand. That's what is my stand on it.
Thank you so much, Dr. Dheeraj. I mean, something similar-ish, like, focus on emerging fields versus traditional careers.
Well, I think parents should also take into account the career prospects, and they are actually comparing it with their other fellows, colleagues, peers. And this has to be associated with both the course and the college, as we are talking about course versus college. Some courses, of course, have a more direct connection to the lucrative jobs in the market, and henceforth the in-demand careers uh, aim to produce, like these days we are having data handling, AI and all that stuff, data science in particular. So there are institutes which are offering, and they are getting students as well, because that is the in thing. And the prompt computing, or the prompt engineering, which we call it as the most sought after skill today at this
And it
hour.
emerged in
So
6 months, like, it just
yes, of
emerged.
course, it has just come out. As what ma'am is saying, that Rust is a language, and so is we call about so many things these days. And some courses, like we call about, while some colleges have strong placement records,
Yes.
for industry connections. That also matters. How good you are at internship and how best you are, with the companies you went for an internship are offering you jobs. Evaluating, like my son was doing an internship and now he's got an offer of 19 lakhs and he's going to join from July just
Yeah.
because he was attributed to that connect. And evaluating whether the chosen field has growth potential and whether the institution provides support for career development is very critical. So I'm sure Flame University here would certainly be doing those strategies, implementing them in action so that they are having a very good connect. And finally, I would like to conclude as a part of an educator that while both course and the college, both are important, the ideal decision for parents should center on students' passion and the long-term career objectives. Well, this feeds like the time the child takes the birth in the class, parents start talking, isko ye banana hai. So it is actually the generation, the idea is
It's hard
brought
to find.
forward for 10 long years, 20 long years. And for that reason, the course should take precedence if the student has a clear direction. While the college should be prioritized when it offers unparalleled opportunities for growth, networking, and exposure, that's many of them are doing. I think ideally a blend of both will ensure the student has a fulfilling academic journey and a successful career trajectory.
I
In
mean,
addition,
we've
yeah,
heard so many
please.
successful cases from very small colleges which don't even list
Yes,
anywhere, nobody, but you have so many people coming out from there. And there
very
are
true.
thousands of them going to these big names with big amount of money, and they're like nobody to be, nowhere to be seen. So yes, it's actually, I think again, the student comes at the center over here. Know the student well, where the student is going to thrive, and those should be, I mean, these can't be a cookie cutter solution. It is very, very individualized thought. But yes, I agree with you. Both are equally important and have to be balanced.
Very true.
Farida ma'am and then Rajesh,
Yeah,
please,
thank you.
Yes, so in a lot of things, I agree to disagree with, some things like the career should be or the top priority when the child is in school and everything, because a lot of times the child, like I said earlier, is a confusion of what the career is all about. So yes, first of all, the children, the parents should sit together, decide what are what the child likes in life, what are their attributes and all. Make a list of the colleges that offer what they like, and what all the interdisciplinary subjects that colleges offer, because they are beneficial and all. uh, Connect with the alumni of some colleges if you are confused. A
yeah.
traditional college versus an interdisciplinary college. Speak to students, or if you can manage to, of both these types of colleges, and then get an overview of what would be the best choice. Again, having said all this, keep the financial limitations in mind for everything, because everything comes with a cost. The child should also see, and the parents should also see their financial limitations when it comes to choosing institutions for their students.
Great.
I may be a very, very good student, but I didn't manage to get into colleges that offer the best education at reasonable prices. I may have to go to the other the deemed universities, so called deemed universities, where I have to pay lakhs and lakhs of rupees, but my parents don't have the capacity of doing that. So, financial limitations are also there.
So there you
Societal pressure. Parents also succumb to societal pressure, what the society will think, and all these. There are a lot of deliberations that go on in the mind of the parents and the students and all when it comes to choosing the right career. So, my guidance would only be that sit together, put all these things together, see what is the best combination which
and
will
then
work to make sure that you are successful. No
Yeah,
career
there's no
chosen
formula to apply. You have to do everybody has to do their own
no
research.
career chosen will be permanent. There's no guarantee that it will be permanent. I will have taken something as my major subject today, but I may transit and change, that may become my minor, and my major will be something totally unexpected.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I've had
because
this
gone are the days, the era where the goldsmith's son became a
a goal.
goldsmith. Then came
Yes,
another thing where army men's kids
yes,
went to the armies. Now it is not there. I have
yes,
so many students in my college where their families own businesses. They don't want to do businesses.
they
They
do.
want to go and do something of their own.
Yes,
So this is
so
a very, very, I think, volatile or
yes,
ambiguous kind of space, and
absolutely.
everybody's
No,
finding
so
their
I have a student whose parents, both of them, one is a cardiac surgeon and the mother is a gynecologist. The elder sibling turned out to be a doctor too, but the younger one, he went to the A.R. Rahman University for music, and he is now directing music for himself.
great.
So a career that is like totally unheard of. He didn't become an engineer. He chose a path that he
Felt
wanted to, and absolute, the parents supported him for whatever he did, and he loves what he's doing. He's doing an amazing job now. So that
great.
is what is important. At the end of it, it should be a happy child
Absolutely.
who, yes, and he will do wonders. And money is just something that will come to you if you are happy in what you do.
Absolutely.
Success just follows.
Yes,
So,
yes. So your last comments from you, please. You have to unmute yourself, sir, I think.
So I'll say thanks everyone for making wonderful reflections on the topic. That's really great. And while Farida ma'am was sharing about the last case, I was just wondering, even my very good friend from Lucknow University, who made then just announcement one day, "Okay, I'm going for civil services." So he was the best debater of Lucknow, Atul Singh. And he said, "I'm going to prepare for civils." Okay, fine. So next year he cracked civils and he joined Indian Police Services. But somewhere his childhood ambition was to go for international journalism. He resigned. He sought admission MA from Oxford, and from there he resigned from IPS. He completed his LLB from Cambridge. He was corporate lawyer in London for 3 years, and he moved to Wharton University of Pennsylvania. And right now, last 12 years, he is the founder and editor in chief of a digital magazine called Fair Observer. So I feel wherever a person's passion lies, so person goes to that direction.
Yeah.
And this is, friends, I'm doing at JK Public School Kunjwani. We are trying to just maybe having a dialogue with parents from early stages, and we are exposing children to different conventional as well as unconventional career choices. So keep on inviting people, what all unconventional career choices, even parents are invited. So I think that is very important. At times children are very potential, they have great, the critical and creative thinking, they want to do something out of the box. So the problems that parents are really not supporting.
Yeah.
uh, Last year came across a particular incident where child is all set for humanities, and father, after, "No, first you clear NEET exam,
Then
once
you
you
do what
show
you
your
want.
seat in NEET, and after that I'll allow you to do whatever you." He said, "Sir, I don't want to study for NEET exam. What's to be done?" Sometimes parents are very, very adamant at times. So I pray to God to shower your blessings on these people,
Wisdom.
so that they should also just feel for the child. So
Yeah.
that is very important. How to change the mindset, the perception of parent, that's a huge challenge. And at
Great.
times parents are so adamant, so rigid. They want, truly said, children are the extended self of parents. Wow, great. Means whatever they couldn't achieve, they would like to achieve all those things through their children. Why? So I think children should be given all liberty, because it's their life,
Yeah.
right? It's their life. And I think parents must be very supportive, and those parents who supported their children, they really brought laurels. and someone else's was just narrating one story in Anand, in Valsad, while I was heading Vallabh Ashram School in Valsad. So there is one famous this anchor of the program. I think I cannot recall the name of the person. What is his name? So his father was a very close friend of the person. So he used to criticize all the time his son. He will not do anything, doesn't do anything at all. But later on, when he became anchor, I cannot recall the name. That particular program wherein Madhuri Dixit was there, this reality show. What's his name? Tall chap, very good.
Sorry, even I'm not a
A dance show, I
Huh?
guess. A dance show it was,
No,
right?
no, no, no. So it was a dance show. Yes, dance. He used to just, one end of her sari in his mouth, and then he'll
Manish,
walk, the
Manish,
behind. Huh?
Manish, his name.
Manish Paul.
Manish Paul. So this Mr. Sunil Desai is no more today. He's from Valsad. Is a very, this book stockist, bookseller. So he was sharing. And today, Manish Paul's father is on cloud nine because Manish organizes his just, foreign trips and whatnot. So I'm saying that those days when children are looking towards parents, like a lot of hopes in their eyes, if parents they stand by the side of their ward like Rock of Gibraltar. I tell you, children they never disappoint, right? They
Yeah.
always this achieve their goals. So this is something, those are viewers of Edu TV. So my humble appeal to everyone, kindly be a great support system of your child, and I'm sure that if child has passion for any particular thing, he will touch the sky is not the limit if we teachers as well as parents we support our children for their this
Amazing,
dream
amazing
destination. That's the thing. Thank
listening
you
to
very
you,
much.
sir. Really nice. So I just want to, just tell about, the student experience that I have at my university. And we are absolutely the epitome of interdisciplinary education. We are epitome of specialized education because, and the quality is, of course, most important to us. So at Flame, when a student comes in the first year, ma'am, nobody applies for a finance or a computer science or a data science. They come in the first year and we make them go through 5 universes of knowledge: humanities, social science, physical, natural science, design, and also and global studies. Okay, now a student must pick up all the courses from these areas. It's a mandatory thing, sir. After the first year, then we ask them, hey kid, what do you want to specialize in? And that times 40% of them, this percentage is high, okay, are the ones who say that I came here to do economics as a major, but I'm going to study finance as a major because I took classes in finance, I took classes in economics, and I understood the difference and I realized what is good for me. And I'm in the university setup, I'm meeting my alumni, I'm knowing my faculty, I know my career guidance, and I know this is my way. So you don't make those decisions in one setting in 1 hour, you make it over the whole year, and it's called a foundation year. There are so many students who come and say that I came here to do psychology major, but I don't think so, it's like too deep for me. I liked it at the school, but this is like deep psycho, I can't handle this. I want to do advertising and branding as a major, and I'll still take psychology as a minor, and I'll do social psychology, I'll do behavioral psychology to use that in my advertising and branding. Somebody is just doing, data science along with economics. Somebody is doing applied mathematics with the, environmental studies. I know of these examples. Kids go out, they work in, into their trajectories, typical 2 3 years. They go work out in the field and then they pick a career. Today, this generation, especially for the kind of schools you represent and the kind of students I get, they are not working for roti, kapra, makan. They have it. They also have a gadi, AC, and a Wi-Fi. All right. What is aspiring them? They are looking to make an impact. This is another research study which shows that Gen Z is going to have a career or a profession where they can create impact because they are growing in a very, very aware society, which is very complex and dark sometimes. And that's why there's so many mental issues there. They know too much way before they should actually know. So that so there's a whole lot of things, but in all of it, I think when it comes for a student to study what they want to study and connect it with the career, I think the autonomy has to be with the student. If it is not a matter of getting the money at home because you have a responsibility, then your priority should be your family, not your education. You should just do something so that it gets you that money so that I can support my family. So these you should, I think a student must be helped to categorize what is your priority in life, and then map your education and your goals. I think if we are able to do that, our job is done. Then you don't have to motivate them every single day ki please padho apna ye karo aur ye karo. Then our job is done. So I think this was an amazing discussion, and while it looked very simple, course versus college, but then it connected us with so many other aspects around a student, which was really amazing to hear all your views. Thank you so much, everyone. Pranav, I'll hand it to you for your closing note.
Thank you all for being a part of today's enlightening discussion. A special thanks to our distinguished panelists, Ms. Farida Harianawala, Dr. Sharda, Dr. Dheeraj Mehrotra, a very close friend. He's an author, he's an AI expert, he's a school leader. Mr. Rajesh Rathore, I think his views were very good. I think liked by everyone. We have got a lot of comments for that. And Mr. Rajesh is also known as the Kishore Kumar of Jammu and Kashmir. I'm sure all of your guidance will undoubtedly help students make more informed decisions as they navigate this crucial phase of their educational journey. And a heartfelt thank you to Ms. Anju Deoskar for moderating this session so skillfully and ensuring that we covered all the key points in this important debate.